Behaviour specialist Sue Cowley is on a mission. She's come to Whitton Middle School in Worcestershire to help teacher Helen Platts with a Year 6 lesson on symmetry. Sue's going to be coaching Helen from a nearby room using cameras and microphones that are hidden from the children in the classroom. She'll be providing Helen with some instant feedback and support by speaking to her directly through a hidden earpiece. Sue will also be providing us with her personal insight into how Helen might manage her class.
I've got quite a difficult maths group at the moment, and it'd be really nice to have some strategies where I can focus on the learning as opposed to the behaviour of the more difficult children. It's the disruption, and can I deal with that and then straight focus back on the teaching rather than letting them distract my attention and deal with that, the naughtier children, as opposed to the children that are there that want to learn. We're going to actually start with your favourite. You're going to play 11s in 2s and 3s.
This is a lower ability maths group. Helen's a confident teacher, but she is worried about when to ignore misbehaviour and when to accept it so she can just get on with the lesson.
Shall we make our circle to start with then? And Jess can join us when she gets here. Are you aiming for bronze today, Ben? Excellent. Come along, Ashton. Fantastic. Right, so we're going to start with 2s, OK? Just get ourselves warmed up and then we'll practice our 3s, OK? And you never know, we might even get on to 4s if we're feeling so inclined. Are you ready, Ben?
2, 4, 6.
Good boy.
8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20.
22. I'm out.
It's a great way for her to start the lesson because it gets them into the classroom. They're standing up. These are kids who want to fidget and move the whole time. Right, so it gives her a chance to settle them into the lesson before she has to have that bit of talking to them where she introduces the topic.
Please, thank you very much. Would you sit with Ashton, please? Fantastic. So you're going to stay on bronze? Or are you going to go to silver?
OK, there she's referring to this zone chart that she's using, and if they get up to gold and they stay there for the end of the week, they get some golden time.
Show me that you're listening. Right, so we're going to look at symmetry today. Is everybody listening? Alicia said the line below. Do you agree with that? But where on the line below? Let's have somebody else give us the answer to where on the line below. Perhaps... I need more hands up than this.
Helen, could one of them come up to the front and point?
Would somebody like to come and do this on the board?
That got them.
Ah, that's exciting, doesn't it?
That got their interest. Excellent.
I'm going to let you come and do it. So would you like to come and get one of the...
Well done,
spots?
Helen. Thank you.
Good boy. Well done. Does everybody agree with him? So can you put your counter in that place on your sheet, please?
There's something magical about the offer to come up, and especially if you get to touch the board or show the class something. Something magical about it, and so many teachers just forget to do it. It's just, you just forget. You think, I'm at the front, I have to be at the front all the time. The more you get the children up, the better.
Right. Who's going to come and put the next one in place, then?
Me.
Who hasn't called out and has put their hand up nicely? Who's
Excellent. Well done.
in, I wonder. I'm going to give you 1 minute to reflect it to the other side. I need you to work in your pairs.
Miss,
Can you see?
this is annoying me.
Would you like to come and sit down and we'll talk carefully, nicely together? Right, sit yourself down.
I like this. Good.
Right, sit down. Right, have you checked very carefully, boys?
Yeah.
Have you checked very carefully that that and that look exactly the same?
No.
Do you need to check it?
That one. Yeah.
Straighten it up.
Like that.
Are you sure? How many spots between the top two and then the next one? They're on the same column.
Am I achieving my target so far?
And your target is, Connor?
To teach still.
Well, you're not doing bad, but you need to have your bottom rather than your feet on the chair, don't you? Okay.
Am I?
I think you need to be calmer than you are at the moment, don't you, to be able to go up the board. That's a good start.
Helen, that was lovely. You sort of got them to reflect on how they were doing. Well done.
Jessica, your target is to join in. Are you prepared to give this a go for me, sweetheart? Would you like a helper?
Yeah, maybe.
Casey, OK? So Casey's going to come and help Jess. Good girl, Jess, because I know that you don't find this easy. All right. There you go.
This is a nice technique to use. When you've got a child who isn't confident enough to come up on their own, then yeah, they can bring a friend, and that friend can support them, and then gradually they'll gain in confidence.
How are you doing, girls? Whoops. They do go funny. They're not messing around. They're trying very hard. It's not as easy as it looks.
Helen, don't feel you have to respond to his comments like that, because he's on a bit of a wind-up today, isn't he? See how much ignoring and focusing on other kids you can manage. I know it's tough.
You can all look at the board and look at yours.
Now, this is something Helen's asked me to look at, you know, what can she ignore? And to be honest, although he's being a bit irritating, he's kind of leaning and that sort of thing, he's not doing anything which is immediately impeding the lesson at the moment. And he's obviously getting used to getting her attention by doing those little things, not sitting properly and so on. And I think she can afford not to focus on him for a while.
OK, so put your name on the short date on the top corner. Please sit down. Put the counters in the middle of the table and put your laminated sheet in the middle of the table. On here, I would have...
What you've got here is you've got a group that are very, very kinesthetic. You can see these two boys here. It's just constantly like this. And the lesson is very unkinesthetic now. The starter was great because they were standing up. I would have been tempted to get the kids to make lines of symmetry. I would have taped a line on the floor and said, right, I need you to make a matching line of symmetry on either side of this line. Because at the moment it's very table-based, very paper-based.
I'd like you to have a go at the first two patterns, and then you will come and make sure that either myself or Mrs. Harris sees it. So you have a go at the first two. As always, do two, show me.
Miss, I like this classroom. Can you say it?
It's just because I had problems with the whiteboard this morning to...
What you'll see here is Helen is pretty much glued to that spot in the classroom, and the girls understand that they're going to have to come to her almost to get her attention. She's so worried about these two children kicking off that it's causing her to stick in this one particular spot in the classroom. And actually, she's teaching from there now. She's doing her marking there.
Faces. OK, Jack? And I'll check them again in a second.
Helen, at the moment, you're getting a bit glued to Ben's side of the classroom. Can you take a wander to the other side and try to just ignore Ben for a few minutes? I know he's being a little bit troublesome, but just try and ignore him. See what happens if you go and focus on some other children.
Right, Chris, I'll tell you what. I'll look what you've done so far, and if you've done them brilliantly, I'll let you go to the toilet, OK? That one you need to finish.
Just ignore him. Ignore him. Focus on that child you're talking to initially.
Brilliant, Chris. You're doing ever so well on here.
Totally ignore. Well done.
Let me go and I'll come back and do all
Good boy, Chris. You can go to the toilet, OK?
Lovely, Helen. Well done.
All right, then. Thomas, let's have a look at you.
He's desperate to get her attention. Yeah, he's obviously used to getting it by going up to her and messing around with her and causing her problems. And it's this problem you have. If you give them your attention, you're just encouraging them to do it again.
You've got a space there, and you haven't got a space there. You've got a counter there, but you haven't got a counter there. Can you see? So that doesn't need to be there, but you need one there, OK?
Here he comes again. He's after her again.
Ah, now look. There's your line of symmetry, and there's your first three counters. Where are yours?
There.
Oh dear. Would you like to check that one? And I'll tell you what, before I go any further with my marking, you can check those as well.
Helen, that's lovely. Don't go straight to Ben now. He wants you, but don't go straight to him.
First, Alicia, because you've been waiting nicely. Good girl.
I will let you know if he kicks off at all right? Don't worry about him.
I know I should use a ruler, Alicia, but never mind.
He's coming again. I'm going to get you. I promise you, I'm going to get you, miss. I want your attention.
Make yourself a pattern in there and reflect it through there, reflect it through there, reflect it through there. Then put your hands up so you don't have to carry it to me and I'll come and look at it. Connor, I think you were next.
Well done, Helen.
You make your own, Casey, and then Jess will try and reflect them, and then Jess will make them for you, and you will try and reflect them, OK?
Helen, I do wonder whether you just need to come back to the front, get everybody in their seats and just settle them, give them a time check, give them a target.
OK, I need people back in their chairs.
I think she's felt that as well.
I can see that is just right.
Maybe a little countdown, Helen. Let's see you all settled in 5,
OK, so if we can settle ourselves now in 5, Christopher, 4, 3, 2, 1, and everyone's settled in their seats.
Well done. Just pause. They're coming to you. Well done, well done. Looking this way. OK, a little time check for them. Oh, lovely, well spotted. So they need to know how long they've got till break. They're getting a bit unsettled.
OK, it's now 15:15 and breaks at 25:15. I'm going to give you another 3 minutes to see how far you get. So you've got 3 minutes now then where you're going to do as many of these as you can. Mrs Harris will be marking her table, so nobody from Mrs Harris' table needs to worry about seeing me. I will make sure I mark everybody else's so that I know who's achieved what. Jessica? And then we'll practice some on the board. OK, so it's about 2 minutes now because of the time you've wasted.
When you're feeling a bit stressed with behaviour, it's very tempting to make these little throwaway comments at the time you wasted. Now, they weren't all wasting the time. So what she could have said instead was, you know, you've done really well, you've been listening beautifully, but it's so tempting to turn to the negative instead. And she's gone straight back to this table. It's like there's like a magnet there. Pull me to bed.
Really, really pleased with the effort today, particularly by those people I've just mentioned. So if you could leave your work in a neat pile in the middle of your table, the counters in another pile, and the acetated sheets in another pile, that would be wonderful. And then you can show me that you've got good sitting and then you're all ready to go to playtime.
And a lovely tidy end to the lesson. All settled, all the papers in the middle of the desks. I'm in charge of the end of this lesson, not you.
Thank you, Connor.
Well done, Helen, that was great. Now, what do you feel you got out of it? Do you feel it was helpful?
Yeah, it was great. It's that confidence, having someone say it's OK to ignore if something's going on. You don't have to deal with everything straight away.
How would it be for this class if you had a rule, you do not get out of your seats without my permission?
It's definitely something I need to try. Yes, I'm going to give that a go. Now that I've got the confidence of ignoring certain behaviour, I can move on to the next step of keeping them all in their seats.
It's great that you'll be able to carry that on after this lesson.
Yeah, absolutely. I really hope that I can do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.